Hey everyone, so in today's tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to basically add a building to the build menu and have the SCV construct it. And this will, if you can follow along with this, you can probably do it for Zerg and Protoss and everyone else as well. So you can see he's building the building, it creates this little animation thing, and then once it's finished, a turret just pops up. It's ready to go. If you want, you can also cancel it, get some money back, create a big explosion, which is also fun. And yeah, it's good stuff. So first we will be duplicating the auto turret, and then I'll show you how to kind of link it up to the build SCV ability and all that good stuff. So first we'll look for the auto turret. Right click on it, hit duplicate unit. We want to duplicate the unit itself, the unit actor, this attack actor, which is those little bullet effects that hit the enemy when it shoots them. Let's see, we're gonna basically give it a better weapon, so I'm gonna duplicate the damage of the weapon and then the weapon itself, and that'll be everything. So weapon, the effect damage, these two actors, and the unit itself. Hit OK. Gonna go ahead and change the name. Gonna call it a defense turret. Get rid of copy, change it in the prefix, which the editor prefixes and suffixes the player doesn't see, but we in the editor are able to see. So when you copy things like this, the player would be able to see this, and it would be kind of ugly to keep the name copy in it. Alright, so we're gonna make our defense turret a little bit better than the regular turret, so we'll probably change the life, maybe double it. Change the armor too if you want. One other thing we're gonna add to the command card when it's building is make it so the player can cancel the build if they want to. So cancel building. It's an ability command, build in progress, which already happens to be on the unit, and then cancel. If they didn't have the build in progress, you would have to add it here first in the abilities. Let's see, is there anything else we want to add to the unit itself? I don't think so. But we'll go down this list. We'll make it do a little more damage each attack that hits the enemy. Increase it from 8 to 12. In the weapons, you see you have the range here, so you can make it so it can shoot farther. Change it to 8. The period is how fast it attacks, so it could attack enemies a lot faster if you changed it to half or anything less. So our turret is looking pretty good. There's UI description here, which this is from the original turret again, and it talks about how it times out. Our turret isn't going to time out, so we'll get rid of that part. And this is a fun place where you could put silly descriptions if you want, because most players don't ever look at it, but the ones that do can be quite surprised. Right, so we duplicated the unit, we edited some of the stats, changed the UI description, added that cancel build. Now for the flames actor, so this has to do with the behavior, Terran structure, burnout. If you don't know, basically whenever a Terran has low health, it starts burning down. And if you don't want that, you can come here to the main unit, look for the behaviors, Terran structure out, highlight it, hit the minus, and then hit OK. That'll get rid of it completely. I'm going to keep it on my unit, and what I have to do is I also have to update the actor so that the fire effects will appear on the unit, as right now they won't. Hit cancel, so I keep that behavior. So we'll come over to the actors. Where are they? There they are. Look again, it's called Terran Flame Small Building. Go into the events. We'll copy paste this and then change it to our defense turret. And now that burning animation will be on our defense turret too when its health gets low. Which is, if you don't update that, the player might not notice that their building is burning down even when it is. And that could confuse them. We're going to create a building for, or a button, I mean, for the SCV build command. So we'll come into our buttons. Add button. Build defense turret. If you want, you can change this to Terran. Doesn't really matter that much. It's just a little categorization that the editor has. So we'll change the icon. I'm going to use this one, the button building Terran auto turret. If you ever need to search for good buttons, you can always just type in btn dash and you'll see all the buttons. They're pretty much all the ones that are this size here, the 76 times 76 or similar size. Go ahead and just copy it to the alert icon, which pops up, and when certain things happen, I can't even give an example right now. Next is the tooltip. So this will be your little description on the command card when your player hovers the mouse over it. So got the button down. I'm not sure if I showed you on the unit itself. There's a cost. And this is where you specify how many resources it'll cost to build it. So we'll put it to 150. And let's see, next we'll go to add it to the abilities on the SCV. Go into this big list of stuff. We'll just find one that's none so that we can add our ability to it. So we'll add that button we just made. See, this is one of those crazy ones where I think mainly if you're doing some tech tree restrictions, if you're going into the triggers and you enable tech tree restrictions, if it's restricted, then this will turn it off. Then you can use the enable disable commands. Requirements here would be like if, for example, you wanted the player to have a barracks before they could build the turret, you could use the have barracks. I'm not going to use anything, so that the player can just build it at any point from their SCV. Over here you have the amount of time it takes to build. Right now it's 15. Maybe you want to make it 30 or something else. I think bunkers are 40 if you want to make it on par with that. Here's where we actually link the unit itself. So our defense turret. And that should be pretty much everything for this area. Alright, I'll hit OK. OK. Now we need to link it to the SCV's command card itself. So you can see it already has the build ability here in the abilities. If you had created a brand new ability that didn't have, you would have to add it to the SCV. We'll come into the command card. We'll go into the second command card. We'll click over here in an empty area, hit the little plus. Add our little defense turret, ability command, ability, build SCV, build defense turret. And now it is on our SCV. I should be showing you on the screen now how it looks to be building, where it's kind of just shows the turret and the SCV dancing around it. That's not quite the animation I want for when it builds, so I'm gonna make some additional changes. So this is something I looked at the supply depot to see how they did it. See what? Oh, I misspelled supply. Suppy depot. Sup depot. So if you come to its unit actor, you'll see how when it gets under construction, unit construction supply depot start, it creates that little build actor that pops up and does its thing. So if you want, you could go into actors and duplicate this supply depot build. I'm just going to reference the same one because I'm being kind of lazy and I don't really see any disadvantages to it. So I'll go to my defense turret. Go into the events, add event. Again, it was unit construction. With the defense turret. Start. Then create supply depot build. supply depot build. Hit OK. So now it creates that little animation while it's building, but the turret itself is still popping up while it builds as well. So I'm going to hide that part of it. So that would be, again, in the units actor. Then you'll see there's this art model build. Right now it's the auto turret. If we set it to nothing, it'll have that ugly sphere model that pops up when models are messing up. So I don't want to set it to nothing. Instead, I'll send it to the invisible model. Here, CM model invisible. And now the turret should be building just as I like it. And that's pretty much all there is to it. If you have any questions, comments, go to SC2 Mapster, because I'm lazy and I usually don't answer in my own comments. Unless you say you're awesome, and then I'll say, hey, no, you're awesome. And we can go back and forth like that. But yeah, have a good time. See ya.